Hello, thank you for joining me. My name is Yasmin and today I'm going to talk you through an active recovery yoga sequence. So this session is perfect in between your workouts to help aid recovery, increase flexibility and mobility as well. So we're going to go over to the mat and get started in a sec. We'll start seated. If you've got a yoga block, bring that with you, it will come in handy. Or if not, maybe bring a book. And if you don't have a book, no pressure, we'll manage without. So make your way over to the mat and we'll get started. Okay, when you're ready, find yourselves a seated posture. Think about lengthening through the spine and find a nice even balance so your sit bones are grounded the same on both sides. Relax the shoulders down the back. And then if it feels okay to do so, just flip your palms. So all that does is very gently rotates the shoulders and just allows them to soften. Maybe close the eyes if you're comfortable too. Take a nice deep breath in, breathing towards the top of the chest. And then breathing out nice and slowly all the way down to the bottom of the belly. Take a moment to notice your physical tensions and tightnesses, breathing in and up towards the top of the chest. And breathing out and down towards the bottom of the belly. Try find a softness even through your eyebrows, your jaw, breathing nice and deeply up to the top of the chest. One final time, breathing out and down. Find your calm. And then just gently easing your body into the physical practice now by taking some half circles through the head, through the neck. The chin drops down towards the chest, spine stays tall, and then the ear relaxes towards the shoulder. Let's take a few of those. Find a soft movement from side to side. And then eventually finding your way back to center. Nice long spine, shoulders relaxed down. We're going to go for some movement through the arms just to get the shoulders warmed up. So we'll stretch the palms out alongside. Take a breath in as you reach up and overhead, maybe look towards the ceiling. Take a breath out, resist as you press your palms towards each other at the heart. Breathing in, lifting up, lift your gaze. And then breathing out, stretching out back as wide as you can, create space across the front of the chest. Breathe in, reach up, lift and lengthen. Breathe out, press the palms to the heart. Breathe in, lift and lengthen. And breathe out, stretch those arms out nice and wide. Now this time we're going to interlace the fingers by the bum so the palms face each other. We'll see if we can draw the shoulders back and down, and we'll see if we can draw the fingers away from the bum. So rather than resting, we're extending. Start to find length across the front of the chest, spine still nice and long. Maybe your gaze draws all the way up towards the ceiling. Hold it there, let's do one more breath. And then gently release the arms. We're going to reach them forward. Make a mental note of which leg is in front in your cross-leg posture and we'll switch sides. So lean back, unravel, maybe pause in a boat pose, maybe even take it to a full boat pose, extending the shins or fully lengthening the legs. Wherever you are, the spine is nice and tall. The belly and the thighs squeezing in towards each other, thighs hugging in. And then let's transition to the second side. Recross the legs, sit nice and tall. Slightly different this time, stretch those arms out wide. We'll keep the palms facing forward. You're going to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, we twist. So we find a rotation, doesn't matter which way. Breathe in, float to center. On the breath out, twist. Same thing, other way. Breathe in, center. Breathe out, twist. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then nice and slow, back to center, reach those arms forward. We're going to interlace, fingers are at the front, palms still facing in towards each other. We're going to try pull the shoulders forward so that you have created space across the back body by extending out the front. Now as you inhale, press your chest forward, lift your arms up, lift your gaze up. And as you exhale, tuck your tailbone, round your spine, hug your chin in towards your chest. On the inhale, we lift, we open, we extend. And on the exhale, we tuck and we round. One more, inhale. And exhale. And then nice and slow, inhale, lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, reach the arms up overhead. We're going to float the palms all the way to the back of the head and then press nice and wide through those elbows. Again, just warming up upper body, head, neck, shoulders, upper back. Keep pressing back through the elbows, spine still nice and straight at this point, and then we're going to try the same kind of movement that we just did with those arms in a slight variation. So as you inhale, press the chest forward, lift your gaze, elbows wide. As you exhale, chin to chest, tuck the tailbone, elbows in. Inhale, press and lift, open up. Exhale, tuck. Last one, inhale to lift and lengthen. And exhale to tuck. And then when you're ready, stay tucked, but lengthen your spine. So rather than the tailbone drawn down, we're going to lengthen. See how tall your spine can be, how close you can get your chin towards your chest. Maybe very gently, try turn the head from side to side. We're keeping those elbows hugging in now. And then relaxing head back to still. Release the hands down, lift your head up, and have a little check-in. Head, neck, shoulders, just shuffle, adjust however you need. Okay, let's check in with the side body and then we'll come over onto all fours. So from where you are, option to keep the legs crossed or transition to the other side, or maybe take those legs nice and wide. Stretch the arms out wide, flip your right palm to face the ceiling. Take a breath in as you reach the arm up towards the ceiling. Take a breath out as you slide to the side. Now just notice your inside edge. So quite often we'll find we're quite relaxed down there. I want you to be active, long on both sides of the waist. And I want you to really think about pressing the right shoulder back. So you're almost opening up the chest towards the ceiling. Maybe the gaze rises up towards the ceiling too. And then slight variation for you, shift the gaze down. Right hand, keep your back nice and tall. Right hand's going to float down towards the ground, maybe a foot farther forward than that grounded left hand. So it's a little bit of a strange rotation, a strange twist. Let's try that once more. So as you inhale, open, expand, lift and look up. As you exhale, fold it down, back stays tall as you draw the right palm down towards the ground. Nice and slow. Find your way to center, adjust. And we're going to do the same on the second side. So this time we're flipping. We're breathing in as we reach up, and we're breathing out as we take it to the side. Now notice your posture again. Find that length on the right hand side of the waist. Think about pressing the left shoulder back, almost lifting your chest, your gaze. Hold it there. And then shift your gaze down. Nice and long on both sides of the waist still as you think about drawing the palm down towards the ground. Rising up, take it wide as you open and place it back down just once more. And then nice and slow, maybe bring your way to center as you find your way to neutral and check in. And then let's get you off those legs, off the bum. So we're going to think about coming all the way over onto all fours. If you've got the space to, we'll try rocking and rolling. So we think about unhooking those legs, leaning back, maybe holding onto the backs of the thighs, and creating momentum as you roll on the spine. Think about rolling all the way up towards the top of the back, the shoulders, and then rocking all the way onto your sit bones, finding your balance on your bum. Let's do maybe one more. And then come all the way over. So maybe you cross the legs, the hands float down, the knees adjust back so that you end up on all fours. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Set yourselves up so that you've got a nice long line through the spine. You're pulling the belly in for support here. Tops of the feet relax down. Spread your fingers. Let's do a tiny bit of all fours cat-cow. So the elbows soften. As you inhale, the chest presses forward, the gaze rises up. And as you exhale, we round, we tuck the tail and arch the upper back. On the inhale, we lift the chest, we look up. On the exhale, we round the spine, we press the earth away through the palms. Last one, inhale, press it forward. Exhale, arching up. And then nice and slow, find your way to center. Glide your arms much further forward. Let's find our first puppy pose. gliding the palms as far away as you can whilst keeping the elbows lifted, pressing through palms, pressing belly back towards the thigh, and then see if you can relax your forehead all the way down towards the ground. That really depends on how tight those shoulders are. You might be slightly higher, and that's totally fine too. If your forehead does meet the ground, just gently try turn the head so that you're softening, almost massaging the brow. And then eventually find stillness. Take a deep breath in, breathing all the way up to the top of the chest. Nice deep slow breath out. When you're ready, guide your hands back in. Let's find our way to all fours. Let's extend your right leg out behind, place the ball of the foot to the ground, and I want you to just have a little bit of movement forwards and back. So what you're aiming for here is just to begin warming everything up, start to stretch out through the back of the leg, the calf, the hamstring, even the toes, the ankle here. And then the option is there to stay pressing back so that you've gone to that extension. You're really pressing through the right heel so you feel a nice long line all the way down the back of the right leg. If you wanted to make the stretch stronger, you could remove the left knee from the ground and think about pressing your belly back towards your thigh. And at the same time as pressing back, you think about that right heel dropping down towards the ground. Let's hold it there, take one more breath. And then when you're ready, float your left knee all the way back down to the ground. Let's drop your right heel to the ground so your toes turn out. And then we're going to think about opening into a side plank variation, so we reach your right hand high. For more support, sweep your left leg round behind, press your hips further forward, and then reach that right arm overhead. Nice long line all the way down that right side of the body. Pause it there. Adjust anything that needs adjusting. Keep pressing hips forward, nice and long through the right leg. And then when you're ready, pressing lightly off your left palm, we're going to rise up. So I want you to lift the chest, bring the arms with you, and then we'll find a side stretch. Right hand rests down, left palm flips up, and we take it all the way across. Just the same as before, notice this inside edge of the body. We want length on both sides. See if you can draw left shoulder back. Maybe see if you can lift your gaze all the way up towards that left hand. When you're ready, rise to center, lift the arms, lift the chest. We're going to swivel your right foot so that it turns to point forward, or maybe backwards. But it points towards that edge of the mat and the spine's nice and long. We're going to think about bending through the right knee, sinking down into the hips and pausing there. So it's kind of like a warrior two posture, an inner thigh stretch on that front leg. Pause, sink as low as you can, and gradually maybe see if you're able to sink a little bit deeper. And then totally optional, but if you wanted to make this stronger, you could think about the right palm floating down towards the ground and the left coming up and over. That is going to be much more strenuous, so no pressure to stay lifted, or maybe even rest on the forearm, on the thigh. And then when you're ready, rising up, lengthen the leg. We're going to cartwheel to face forward. So we place the palms down, turning back to the way we started, adjust the hips. Let's step back, spread the knees wide, and then sink our bum towards child's pose. Now in your child's, think about the big toes touching, the knees staying wide so that your belly can rest in between. And for this child's pose, I want it to be soothing. So maybe you bend the elbows, maybe you relax the head down. And we'll give ourselves just a few moments here, pausing, relaxing, finding a softness as your body sinks down towards the ground. Maybe beginning to notice your breath and seeing if you can reconnect with a sense of calm. When you're ready, gently ease your way back up. Take your time. Let's find all fours, no rush. And we're going to think about taking that same sequence on the second side. So we spread the fingers, we pull the belly in. This time the left leg extends, we place the ball of the foot to the ground, and we find that kind of rocking motion forwards and back, just gently easing the leg in. Know that there is no rush. Maybe this is enough for you today. If you wanted to take it deeper, keep the press back. So rather than pulsing, actively drawing that left heel back permanently, pausing there. Also the option to take it up into that variation where we lift the right knee, where we press the belly back and we draw the left heel down towards the ground. This will be a much stronger variation, a stronger stretch. Keep actively drawing yourselves back, belly to thigh, left heel down. And then nice and slow, lower the right knee, lower the left heel, so you're opening up into that variation of a side plank. We're going to keep the right hand down and lift the left arm up nice and high. Okay, so from where you are, sweeping your right leg around behind, think about pressing your hips forward and then reaching your left hand overhead. Find a nice long line all the way down that left hand side of the body. And then when you're ready, pressing up, lifting off the right hand, rising, adjusting if you need to here, make yourselves comfortable. This time left hand rests on left thigh, right palm reaches up and over, and just the same as before, we've got that space on the inside edge here. Pause and breathe. Let's take one more breath in your side stretch. And then rise up, lift the arms, lift the chest. Swivel the toes to point towards the top of the mat, bend through the knees, sink down, your variation on Warrior Two. The pelvis is gently dropping down, the hips are gradually opening, and we adjust anything that feels uncomfortable. Give yourselves time to sink. And then the option is there, if you took it on the other side, to think about coming into a variation of that slightly stronger hip opening posture. And then nice and gently rising up, making a cartwheel. So we turn to face the back of our mat, palms down, adjust, swivel to face forward, and then slightly different this time, we're coming into puppy pose again. So we bring the left knee to join the right. We glide the arms forward, but before relaxing down, shift your hands across to the left. In your puppy pose this time, we're thinking about adding a little bit of a side stretch as you walk the palms to the left and allow the head to drop. Hopefully feeling a stretch down the right hand side, maybe the shoulder, the lat, maybe gently pressing that right shoulder down towards the ground to intensify. Hips stay nice and high, belly presses back, head is heavy. And then let's even you out, gently rising, gently taking it all the way across to the second side, and then dropping down. Still feeling nice and long through the spine, maybe gently pressing that left shoulder down towards the ground. And then when you're ready, gliding back to center. Adjust, find all fours, hands under shoulders, tuck the toes. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, pull those knees off the ground, just hover. Take a breath in, take a breath out, hover. Spine nice and tall, breath in, breath out, hover. When you're ready, rest your bum towards your heels, keep those knees off the ground so you're pressing back, and then super slow, I want you to think about lengthening through the legs, but you're keeping the belly extended back towards the thighs. Now the legs don't need to straighten to full, maybe they're still quite deeply bent, or maybe you are thinking about lengthening those legs one at a time, drawing one heel down and then the other. And you want to make sure the feet are hip distance here so you've got some space. Adjust as much as you need, relax the head. Slow the breath. And then when you're ready, bending both knees, shift your gaze forward. Breathing in, step or hop, feet to the back of the mat. Breathing out to forward fold, head heavy, knees can bend, belly on thigh. Take your time, uncurl, let your head be the last to lift. And then ease yourselves all the way up to a stand. Check in, head, neck, shoulders. Adjust anything that needs adjusting. And then step the feet nice and wide. Adjust if you can't see. Soften through the knees and give those arms a swing. We're going to twist. And just make sure the knees are happy with the amount of rotation you're giving. Maybe shifting your gaze over your shoulder. And then gently finding your way back to still. Okay, from where you are, turn so that you're facing at the back of your mat, looking forward. Let's go feet hip distance, standing nice and tall. Notice your posture. Take a breath in as you reach your hands up overhead, lift and lengthen. Take a breath out as you fold down. Let the arms go wide, the knees soften as you bring yourselves towards a forward fold. Now as you inhale, try lengthen your back. We're going to come into a halfway lift here. So we press the belly towards the thigh. We think about lengthening through the legs. Does not matter if the hands are on the floor or on the shins, but that flat back is exactly what we're after. And then let's add a little bit of strength here, bringing the arms forward. Now think about the arms lifting up in line with the ears. Pause, breathe, create warmth. One more. And then when you're ready, rise up onto the balls of your feet, soften your knees, float your palms down. Good. From where you are, walk forward, hands padding until you find your way to plank. Straighten through the legs, press back through the heels, pull the belly in, take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, lower your way down. With or without the knees on the ground, we're coming all the way onto our belly. When you get down there, adjust, take the feet wide, press the soles of the feet, the tops of the feet to the mat, press the pelvis down into the mat too. Lightly on the hands here, elbows hug. Inhale as you lift your chest. Exhale as you soften and lower. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, soften, lower. Last one. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Inhale, downward dog. Take your time, adjust your hands, tap your toes, lifting up and back. And exhale to pad through those heels. Okay, when you're ready, feet hip distance, knees bend. Walk your hands all the way back to meet your feet, so you start at the back of the mat again. When you get there, uncurl, head's the last to lift. Take your time. Inhale, reach those hands up, lift and look high. Exhale, fold down. Maybe the knees bend as you come into your fold. Inhale halfway, and we're going to hold it there. Exhale. So I want you to rise up onto the balls of your feet now. Bend the knees, but keep those heels lifted. We're going to bring the arms all the way up in line with the ears once again. Challenge your balance, belly pressing towards the thighs, spine nice and tall. One more breath. And then when you're ready, palms down. Keep your heels lifted. We're going to think about dropping down your left heel first of all. Let the weight transition to the left side. We're going to ground down through your left hand and think about reaching up and open with your right. Float your right palm back down, and we'll do the same on the second side. Right hand down, left hand lifts, reaching up. Lift your gaze, open your chest, and then float the palm down. Let's do once more either side. Left foot is down, left heel is heavy. Right arm lifts and lengthens, look up and down. The last one, left arm lifts up, look up and down. Swap sides, rising up onto both balls of the feet and then lowering through the right. Left hand reaches up, lifts open. Heavy through that right foot, place the palm down. Switch sides, right hand reaches up, lift and lengthen, and down. One more, left arm, and right arm. When you're ready, grounding through both heels, knees soft, pad your way forward to plank. Nice straight line through the spine, bum in line with the rest of the body. Spread those fingers, take a breath in, breath out, your way down. Breath in, just one breath, rise up, find a back bend. Stay lifted, breath out like over one shoulder, try to see your toes. Breath in, bring it back to center, keep the height. Breath out, second side. Breath in, back to center. Breath out, downward dog. Now in your downward dog, have a moment to pad through those heels. We're going to start to mix things up a bit. So I want to try find you a standing lunge this time, a high lunge. So we're going to think about taking the weight fully to the right foot. As you inhale, lift your left leg nice and high, look forward. And as you exhale, knee floats towards the nose with control here. Bring your weight forward and float that foot down. Get it all the way in between the hands if you can. Find your balance. On the inhale, rise up nice and strong with the back leg. And as you exhale, relax the shoulders back and down. Now maybe go hands on hips, or one on belly, one on back. Bend the back knee. Find the length in your spine. So you're going to draw your tailbone down. And then keep that newfound length as you re-extend the back leg. Keep a deep bend through the left leg, pressing the right heel back. Inhale, reach the arms. Exhale, float the shoulders. One more, inhale, reach. This time exhale, warrior two, so we let the shoulders drop as the back heel drops. So we've opened up that back heel. Take a breath in. Maybe see if you can sink lower as you breathe out. Take a breath in, nice open stance. Take a breath out, maybe see if you can sink lower. Option to stay here, option to rest the forearm on the thigh like we did earlier, or float that left hand all the way down to the ground. Totally optional, no pressure. One more breath. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, cartwheel over your left leg. We're going to place the palms down. And then a big step towards the top of the mat. So we transition forward, float the feet down, soften the knees, give those heels a pad. And then relax, find stillness, head heavy, belly on thigh. Gently turn your head from side to side. And then on curl, head is the last to lift, no rush, take your time. Inhale, reach the hands high. Exhale, soften the knees, fold it down. Inhale, soft halfway lift. Maybe the hands are on the shins, spine along, nice and gentle. Exhale, fold, knees bend, palms to the ground. Inhale, step or hop, find your way to plank. Exhale, your way down. Inhale, lift, bend of your choosing. Exhale, downward dog. Now when you get to downward dog, we're going to even you out. So this time we're thinking about weight coming to the left leg. Inhale, right leg lifts high, take your time nice and slow. Exhale, we tuck, knee towards the nose, pull the weight forward. Think about almost planking with a big dome through the back. Let the foot ground down in between the hands, adjust as much as you need. Grounded through the feet here, strong left leg. Inhale, rise up. First of all, it's just the shoulders. Exhale, drop them down. Then maybe hands rest on belly and back, or hands on hips. Bend the left knee, draw the tailbone down, find that straight line, keep that straight line as you re-extend the left leg. Breathe in, reach the arms, deep bend through the right leg. Breathe out, shoulders back. Breathe in, reach up. And breathe out, warrior two. We're going to drop the left heel as the arms are open. Adjust as much as you need. Step your stance wide. Extend. Tune in. Nice long line through the back leg and a deep bend in the front leg. Every time you exhale, maybe you sink lower. One more breath. Maybe there's a variation. Maybe you took a side stretch on the first side. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, cartwheel, palms down. Inhale, big step. Exhale, fold both feet to the ground. Take a moment, soften the knees. In fact, step your feet just a tiny touch wider. Relax your head. Hold onto your elbows. And then take a momentary ragdoll pose. So we have a little bit of swaying here from side to side. And then when you're ready, find stillness. Relax those arms. Maybe try turn your head from side to side. And then from where you are, see if you can take hold of your block or your book, or if not, we'll just take the weight to the heels. And we're going to try think about stepping on. So you want to try and transition the weight to your heels so that you're able to step your feet on, heels stay firmly on the ground. Doesn't matter if your block starts to tip, if it's really high, there's a good chance it will. The more you bend your knees, the easier this will be, but what you're doing is creating flexion through the foot. If you want to make it stronger, press that second side of the block down to keep the flex nice and intense, or to let it soften, you can let the block adjust as much as it wants to. You can let it do its lifting. The more you bend through the knees, the softer this will be. The more you relax down, the stronger the stretch will be. Option is there to work on lengthening the legs. That will be a strong, intense calf stretch, maybe hamstring stretch. So if you don't have a book or a block, you're bending through the knees, taking the weight back towards the heels, lifting the toes so that there's air underneath. And same thing, so you keep the feet flexed, you press the belly back, maybe you extend through the legs. One more breath. When you're ready, slide that block or book out from underneath. Place your feet firmly to the ground. We're going to rise up onto the balls of the feet and then sink your bum all the way down towards your heels. Press up, lift the hips high, draw the heels down, belly towards the thigh. And then rise up. Balls of the feet, bend the knees, bum drops down towards the heels. Now this time, we'll keep the bum rested and we'll think about lengthening our spine. So it might be that this is as much as you can lengthen, or it might be that you're able to lift the spine longer, removing those hands from the ground. Find your balance. Maybe even challenge yourselves to hover the bum so it's lifted higher, not resting down on those heels anymore. Take one more breath wherever you are. And then nice and slow, lower your bum to the ground. You can use those hands as much as you need to sit down. And then when you're seated, shuffle your feet a little bit further forward. Find a nice even grounding on your sit bones. Take those hands and interlace. Doesn't matter which leg, we're going to do both. Hold on somewhere near the ankle or the calf. Think about leaning your weight back and extending your leg up. Now the closer you hold towards the foot, the stronger the stretch is going to be. To make it stronger still, think about flexing through the foot, so you hold on to the bottom of the foot. Notice your posture here. So if you're really rounded, that's going to take a lot of the length out the back of the leg. If you're able to sit nice and tall, that's going to help. Another thing you can do is extend through the leg. Grounding down through the spare foot, lengthening through the spine. Think about flexing through that foot continuously, and that's going to give you a lot more stretch. And then when you're ready, soften the knee in whichever leg you have lifted and take it across to figure of four. So you think about resting the ankle just outside, and then the hands can be removed and float behind. From where you are, draw that bottom foot, the grounded foot, closer towards your bum to intensify. Keep the spine nice and tall. If you don't get enough stretch from this, then it might be that you're rounding through the spine, in which case lengthen, or the option is there for you to try and sit up. So when I sit up, it's a lot more balance focused, but I can also get a stronger hip opening stretch on that top leg. And then we're going to even you out. Nice and gently release, unhook, maybe have a little check-in, letting the legs windscreen wiper. And then find stillness, sit tall, and we'll take the same stretch on the second side. So you're going to think about taking the hands to whichever side you haven't done, holding towards the ankle or the calf, and extending. Nice long line through the spine. Try to avoid any slouching. Maybe think about reaching towards the base of the foot, just behind the toes, so that you're then able to flex through the foot, really press the heel away, and at the same time lengthen the spine. Pause it there, pause and breathe. Always bear with your body, so if it doesn't look like this, no problem. There's lots of variations in between to make this more manageable. Rounding the spine isn't necessarily a bad thing, it's just lessening the stretch. And if you need that lesser stretch today, then that's perfect. And then find figure of four. Bend the knee, take it across, float the hands behind, and then draw that bottom foot closer in towards you. The closer your belly is towards your thigh, the stronger the stretch will be, which is why the variation of lifting up makes things a lot stronger. No pressure there, you might be here, this is a good place to be, you might even be a little bit further away. We're trying to open up as much as is comfortable. And then release. Place the palms to the ground if they're not already. Place both feet down and then lower your way onto your back. From where you are, slide your hands so that your palms rest alongside your thighs, and we'll get the heels as close to the bum as possible. Let's go feet hip distance. Let's find a little bit of a chest opening, shoulder opening, all the way down the front body. So we're going to press through the soles of the feet, start to arch the tailbone. So you scoop the belly down and then lift as you press those hips up nice and high. So rather than relax, I don't know if you can see, if I don't scoop the pelvis, my bum kind of hangs. And it's like that. And if I do, I'm able to tuck my tailbone in the direction of my knees so that I can then have more energy, more effort to press and lift my hips up. Make sure the knees are happy here. Thighs hugging in towards each other. Maybe even interlacing fingers by the bum so that you're able to shuffle those shoulders deeper and lift higher. And then release. Arms wide, float down. When the bum hits the ground, cross your right leg over the top of your left, and we'll cross those legs tightly. So rather than figure of four, hug the thighs towards each other. Knees fall to the left, gaze turns to the right, ground down through your shoulders. Hold it there. Take a few moments to slow your breath right down. And then just gently find your way back to center, knees and head, so that we're able to unhook and rehook. This time the left is on top and the legs fall to the right. Ground through your shoulders, shift your gaze to the left. And then nice and slow, find your way back to center. Unhook, soles of the feet together, let those knees fall out nice and wide. And in fact, let's mirror that with the hands. Interlacing the palms, floating them underneath the head so that the elbows fall wide, just like the knees do. Close your eyes. See if you can soften any tension through the eyebrows, through the jaw. See if you're able to slow the breath down at all. See if you can let gravity begin to open up the hips. See if you can start to breathe in a little bit of calm. Every time we breathe deeper, slower, we allow our heart rate to drop. We start to tune into that rest and digest mode. So let's give ourselves permission just for a couple more breaths to pause here. For our body to recuperate. For our mind to re-energize. And then just gently release the hands from underneath the head. Try gently turning the head from side to side. And then easing the knees all the way back together. Find stillness through the head. Knees up, draw circles, soften that lower back. And then change the direction so that you've drawn circles in both ways. And then find stillness, hands on backs of thighs, maybe blink the eyes back into the room if you close them, and we'll try rocking forwards and back until we find a seated posture. Seated, however, is comfortable for you. Nice long line through the spine, shoulders relaxed. Take a deep breath in, maybe those eyes are closed. And just one big sigh out through the mouth. Thank you ever so much for coming along and giving that a go. I hope you feel stretched out and I hope you're able to have a lovely week. Namaste.